everyone. How's everyone doing? There is quite a lot to discuss this evening. Sometimes I think that I'm going to struggle for things to say or things to do on the live stream, but I'm not going to be for this one. There's a lot to get through on this stream. Just to bring you up to speed, I had a meeting with Hachette and a meeting with Fanhome D'Agostini this week. So I found out a lot of information, and I want you guys to think what I've done, whether it's a good move or not. But we'll get onto all of that as well. And Agora, I haven't been in touch with Agora, but we'll discuss the transformer from Agora as well. So there's a lot to get through. Let's just say hello to D Harris. How's it going, D? Mark, the man himself. How's it going, Mark? How are you feeling? I hope you're feeling all right in the minute. And Crafty Chris, hello. How are you? So where do I begin? Because there's a lot to get through. Where does everyone want me to start? That's better. That's a better way, I think, of doing it. Where does everyone want me to start? Because they're all really interesting. But I've been sort of on a discussion thread. I think I've waited a long time to have these meetings. They've all sort of piled up all at once in 1 week, funnily enough. So, evening, John. How's it going? So, where do you want me to start? At the start of the beginning of what? I mean, I've got Agora, I've got D'Agostini, and Hachette as well. So hi Jay, how's it going? Yeah, so let me start on Tuesday. So Tuesday, someone's saying Hachette, Fanhome. What I will do, hi Tony. What I will do is still currently training back from loads of train. Don't get me started on the trains, Jay. Hope you're not too bad, and you got company for me for the next hour anyway. So let's start on Tuesday. So Tuesday, I booked a meeting with Hachette. I've done it through the official channels. I spoke to someone in their marketing department, and it was just to find out some information. Obviously, they couldn't tell me anything, but they did tell me some interesting things. So I'm going to tell you those interesting things now. And that is, we are probably responsible, us YouTubers and anyone else really who spreads the info, is probably responsible for builds not being released. That's pretty much what they said. And it's to do with how they do the test runs. So basically, they take the numbers and they look at the numbers and then they decide whether it's going to come out or not. Now, going back to the Hogwarts Express, now I did ask if it was coming out. They couldn't tell me if it was or if it wasn't. If it doesn't get released, it could be down to us. Yep. The reason for that is they go on figures. So obviously they check the number of genuine. This is what they kept saying, genuine figures. So they go on the figures that they get from doing the things. But what happens is when we YouTubers and people on Facebook groups say it's a test run, we hyperinflate. This is their words. Hyperinflate the numbers. But we also take it in the opposite direction and make the numbers less than what they really should be, because we're telling everyone they're a test run. So when they bring a test run out, they treat it in company and everything else. They treat it as a full run. They do this so they can get a genuine look at the numbers. Now, when we turn around and say it's a test run, two things happen, I was told. One, people go, I was going to sign up, but I'm not going to now. So that decreases the number of genuine people who want to collect it. And then you get other people who go, I'm going to sign up, but I'm actually going to sign up 5 times. And that is called hyperinflating the numbers. So what they tend to get is you'll get 5 people with 5 different emails, but they're the same person. And that hyperinflates the test, basically. This is why this is really important as well. So Warhammer they've just done a test. Why should they lie, John Spurt? Because they want the genuine numbers, so they can take that genuine number and go, that is how many people want to subscribe. If they turn around and say it's not a full run, 9 times out of 10 people will either do like the 2 things that I was just told, which is they will turn around and go, well, I'm not going to subscribe then, I'll wait until the full run. So the numbers go down. Now, if you also turn around and say it's a test run and you really want it to come out, you might then sign up 5 times, which hyper inflates the number. So basically what they're saying is, if, say for instance, they needed 10 people, right, and to make the build go, and you get 10 people, right, and they go, oh, I want to do this, then someone on Facebook or YouTube goes, it's a test run. 9 of those people go, oh, well, I won't do it until it's a full run, right? But the one person then signs up 9 times or 10 times in their case, right? And then the company goes, oh wow, look, there's 10 people there. We'll bring it out full release. And when they put it out on the full release, only one person gets it, which makes a massive loss for the company. So the reason it also takes so long as well from doing the test runs to full release is so they can get these numbers absolutely perfect. She said to me she couldn't tell me if that was why the Hogwarts Express hasn't come out, or it was to do with the Eddie Stobart, but you can sort of read between the lines. The reason the Eddie Stobart came out is probably because there was more genuine numbers on there over the Hogwarts Express, where they might have either been down or hyperinflated. Though she did say it doesn't, just because a build hasn't passed a test phase doesn't mean it will never get released, and doesn't mean it will never get retested again. With the Warhammer, like I was saying, the reason it had a test at the beginning of this year. I think it was February this year, 2020, and now at the end of this year, it's had a retest. That is because of hyperinflated numbers. She did tell me about that. The reason they had, because the other 2 collections that they did were the last one they did, Imperium, I was told, was the best selling part work and sign up they've ever had out of any part work. So when they did the 3rd one, which is the Stormbreaker one, which is coming out now, and the numbers didn't quite add up, they were like, whoa, what's happened here? And so that's why it's been on a raid test, because they want genuine numbers and not hyperinflated ones, which they believe was what happened. So yes. So if she also said as well, there's loads of internal things why a build wouldn't come out. The numbers might be really good, but then it comes down on cost. So they take into account rising costs and stuff like that. They also go, when they build these, they build them in obviously plastic first. Everything's done in plastic. Once then they've gone to the test phase, they then start looking at what bits they can do in die cast. And then what they do is, after it's had test run, they go, that's good, so let's do the whole thing. So they go on, they see what they can make in die cast, what the and sort of what parts they can do, and then they get a cost for that, and the cost might outstrip demand. So they might look at it and go, we're going to make money, but not a lot. And then they go, it's not economically, it's not viable for them to carry on doing. She said that could also explain why models don't come out. They might then again go back to them and say, could they do it cheaper or anything like that? at a different time. But she said also that takes into account. So they'll say they'll do 100 issues, and then they look at it and go, well, the numbers don't work, so they might increase the issues. But then it comes down to what they can put in each issue to increase it that much, and sometimes that outstrips it. And then they also have pricing of the magazines as well. So there's a lot that comes down to it. It's not just sort of green lighting it and going ahead. There's an additional cost, which they only find out when they start processing it for a full run, because they need to understand how much it's going to cost and what goes in it. This is why she also said why some of the stages change from a test run to a full run as well. It also comes down, I said, why do we get some part works from Europe and not the UK? She said that comes down to what they feel is going to sell. So, why, there's a reason why we don't get a lot of the cars, especially like Citroens and things like that, because they feel that they wouldn't sell here in the UK because of that thing. Same with the Routemaster as well. They didn't bring it out under Hachette anywhere else because they felt that it wouldn't sell very well in other places. So yes, so in effect, if the Hogwarts doesn't come out, I did say, was that the reason Hogwarts hasn't come out? She couldn't comment on any builds coming in or out, which is understandable. But she also said just because a build hasn't been released yet or anything else, she said it doesn't mean that they completely throw it away. They could retest it again. They could revisit the numbers, the figures. So she said just because it's come out on a test run doesn't necessarily mean it's never going to come out. She said also as well, it could get another retest in a couple of years to test the water again. Once again, they also said it's down to licensing as well. So the test builds, when you get them, they are done before. The reason I only do 4 is because they're not licensed. It's not a fully licensed thing yet. They sometimes do this before they grant the license, because that costs money. And if they can't get the license, that could also then go, well, okay, we'll put it on the shelf. We can't get the license for that. So there's that as well. So that's what I found out this week, really, was sort of just finding out what happens with the test builds and stuff like that. And that is basically what they said. So they said that's why when you ring up the call center, they say it's a full run. If you ring up the company, message them, they will tell you it's a full run, because they want it to feel and act exactly like a full run. When we talk about it, we should be saying, if you register your interest, is what she said. You shouldn't be telling people it's a test run. It may or may not come out, all this sort of stuff. If you want a test to come out, she said, treat it as a full run and sign up for it if you intend to buy that many subscriptions. So if you want to do it, if you want to sign up twice, be prepared to get 2 subscriptions. Otherwise, that could look strange on the thing. She said they have in certain aspects, they have had more sort of address type stuff. So basically, say like 6 or 7 people from one address has signed up to it, and they believe that's that. I said that you could have 6 people in that address. She said yes, but realistically, that's not really going to happen, and that's what hyperinflates the numbers. It doesn't make the numbers work really well. And also as well, with us saying it's a test run, also puts people off as well. So once again, she said, but I don't want to lie to people. She said you shouldn't lie, but what you should say is if you want to do this, register your interest. She also couldn't tell me how they picked the areas. She wouldn't tell me any of that. And obviously she couldn't tell me any other part works that are coming out or anything like that. But she also said just because you see a part work that's been released in France doesn't necessarily mean it will ever come out over here. It's done on lots of merits, but it's done on popularity. Just because they've done the Megazord in France and the numbers were good and it comes out over there, Some higher ups in Hachette might turn around and say that isn't going to sell very well here, and it won't come out. So yeah, it was a bit complicated, but that's what I've found out anyway. So there was that. On Wednesday, now I was due. Now I was approached in June by a American advertising company in the pursuit of me doing the kit build with Fan Home. So they contacted me. Remember that? No one else. And then they had to do was then set up a meeting with me and the Agostini Fan Home. That took a while. The reason is because they couldn't send me anything until that meeting was set up. They couldn't tell me, like that meeting until they got information. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I had that meeting with them. And I can tell you now, I'm not doing the kit. I don't know if I made the right decision. My wife reckons I made the perfect decision on this. So there's a few things that I had to sort of sign up and sign off sort of thing in order for me to take it on. Basically, I was told, I said, okay, cool. Yeah, it all sounded good. And they would send it to me. Now, in return, what they want, when you get asked to do a subscription from these companies, what they want is they want numbers. So they wanted me to boost the numbers, basically. So the reason they give you a free subscription is they reckon that when people see you doing it and building it, they're going to sign up and they will use your code to sign up. That is your job as a YouTuber. To get the free subscription, your job is to make the build look good so people sign up. And I thought, okay, this is why they said, whatever you can do to get more people to sign up, they'll love it. So that's like promoting it on, get this model from, and they always have a link for you to use. The link doesn't give you anything else. The link just provides them with the numbers they get from you. And then they said I can say what I want. This is where the fun begins. So I said, can I say what I want? And they said, yes. And I said, what about, I can't believe I even said this, right? I even went through all this with them. You know, the big company like Hachette, the marketing person comes to me. I can't even believe I said what I said, but I'm going to tell you what the scenario was and what their response was, and then what I said, and the reason why I'm not doing it. So they said, so I can say what I want. And they said, yes, you can say what I want. Then they said, within reason. So I didn't really know what that meant, because I think, well, what's in reason? It's anything can you say. So I said, what about if I said that, you know, there's a long delay. I've been waiting for my parcels a long time. I'll do a YouTube video and I'll go, I've been waiting for my parcel a long time from D'Agostini. I think it's ridiculous. Can't say that. Can't say that. You got to think they're giving you this for free, right? So I can't say that, because then people might turn around and go, oh, they're having delivery, but I won't sign up to that then. Right? I said, okay, could I say these parts are not very good? I don't think it's worth the money. The parts that you get the parts you get each month is really small and ridiculous. I think the electrics aren't very good. All that sort of stuff. No, I can't say any of that. So I was like, so I can't say what I like. And they said within reason I can. But what, you know what I mean? I was like, well, if for me, if I'm doing something, I'm going to tell you like it is. Yeah, I'm going to say this is crap. Yeah, I say, you know, I've even said it with my Hachette one with the Alien. I think some of the parts you get, there's not a lot in it. What the hell's going on? And the amount of glue that you use and all that. Now, if they were sending me that, I couldn't say any of that. So if I was say I was building a kit, and 1 month I see it this month, the watch, right? And I say, I can't believe they've made us build the watch as one of the issues. I couldn't say that. I also couldn't turn around and say, it's best for you to not put the electrics in and do your own ones. I couldn't say that, because all these things would look negative on the company and might then turn around, and people that have signed up might go, nah, it's not for me. So my job is to give them more money, and whatever I can say to increase that, it's a good thing, right? So I'd become a yes man, basically, and I'd become a yes man, and I'd become, I wouldn't be able to give you a full and proper review of something. So I can't believe I turned around and said this. I said, I don't think it's for me. And this meeting was set up so they can just go ahead with it. And I was like, oh, yeah. And they would go, well, here's all the marketing material and stuff like that. Also, as well, if I found out that there were supply problems and it stopped, so say they couldn't get issue 6 for some reason, and I found that out, I couldn't tell you guys. If I also found out, now if what they do is they send you some promotional material before it's released, and I couldn't tell you that. Now I don't like that. I don't like not knowing something, not being able to tell you. I like telling you guys what's going on, what's coming up. I wouldn't be allowed, right? Because they would take the subscription away from me. So I turned around and went, it's a no, because I couldn't give you a full and genuine review on something. I just couldn't do it. Thinking about it later on, like they haven't said that I've burnt their bridges with them. They said, okay, maybe on this occasion it's not right. But if anything comes up either way, you know, we're happy to talk again. Now, I wasn't originally going to do the kit. You got to think they came to me, not the other way around. But yeah, even if it was something I really wanted to do, so even if they came to me and they said they want me to do their Optimus Prime, I couldn't do it, because you have to word thing, you know what I mean? I'll be for almost on eggshells on my review. It wouldn't be a genuine review of the product, because I'll be always cautious about what to say and what to do. And they could pull it at any point and stuff like that. But maybe I have burnt their bridges with them. But you know, at least with me, you know, if I'm building something, it's my money and I'm doing it. Also, as well, if I do it, I'd have to put on my YouTube channel that it was a paid promotion, which decreases the amount of monetization revenue I get, which is okay. But I don't make a lot from YouTube anyway, and to make even less, you know, there's another thing as well. But I wanted to know what you guys think. Did I do the right thing in doing that? It's really interesting, because I never done anything like that before, and you know, I'm a big boy, and I was able to say no, because you would not be getting a genuine review. And it's interesting what they were saying and stuff like that. Like, you know, you can't. There was on one hand they were saying, yeah, of course you can say what you're saying, and on the other they were like, well, you can't really say that, and you can't really do that. But the reason they use YouTubers and stuff like that is to get more people to sign up. That's the only reason. The only thing they care about is money, and numbers. But I want to know if I'd done the right thing, because it's a big time thing. You know, they could see it as going up, and I could get more stuff, but you wouldn't get a genuine. This is what I mean. You know, you watch me, you get it. You know, if I say things are crap or rubbish, or I don't think you get a lot in that issue, that is my genuine review. I've spent money on it. I've paid for myself, so I can say what I like. This is another thing as well. So a lot of the information that I get, I can tell you guys straight away. No one tells me. You know, if a company comes to me, even Eaglemoss came to me and they said, when they were about, and I found out about the Enterprise D, they told me to take down the video, and they told me not to mention it on the YouTube chat and all of that. And I said no. And the reason was because I don't work for them. But if I did, and I found that out, I wouldn't be able to tell you that. And I wouldn't be able to tell you of any delays or anything that's going on within these companies, because I would have signed up. So in a good way, I'm probably a little bit of a thorn in their side, because I hate stuff coming out. But yeah. My wife said that's probably asked you why they tried getting you in, so they can get me on board and then go, you can't say that, you can't do this, take that video down, and stuff like that. So yeah, but I wanted to know, you know, they should have think of a different way then. Yeah, was that with Hachette? Maybe the first month payment should be submitted and refunded. It's only a test run. They don't take any money because they only send the test run issues to news agents. They never send them to customers. On that basis, it's a test run, but you have to think of it as a real run, as a full run, and that's how they want to sell. We'll sell anywhere. Yeah, like I said, it could have hyperinflated the numbers. They could have got a bit scared. It could have come down to finances. They could have then realised it was too expensive to make, which would then pass it on to us. And what they want to do is keep the cost down for the customers, because they know if they push the price up to £15 an issue, it's a highly unlikely. A lot of us won't do them. And then they go, well, okay, if we extend the numbers, what do you get in each issue? You get a pack of screws and things like that. It doesn't work. So there's a lot behind the scenes as well. But like she said, there's not, just because something that's been on a test run doesn't mean it necessarily will never come out or be retested again. So yes, I've done the right thing. Yeah, done the raffle thing big time. Done the right thing big time. Yeah, thank you. It's nice to hi Chris, how's it going? Evening Roger. It's nice to see what people thought about it, because I can't believe I said it. But I did, you know, because I think you need, you know, I'm not a puppet. I'm not a yes man. Anyone who's worked with me ever, if I'm male, will know that I am not a pushover or a yes man. And that is something I didn't want for my YouTube channel. It would mean I would be constantly on eggshells trying to tell you and trying to say stuff as well rightly. And yeah. Faz, you've done exactly the right thing. You would have just ended up a puppet for them on the build by the sounds of it. That's another thing as well. So, you know, if the numbers were good, they said they would then offer me another build and offer me another build. But at the end of the day, I'm only building what I like. So the kit I never really watched, and they offered me it, and I was like, okay. I'll do it. I'll see what's that. But I didn't know I thought that they were just going to sort it out and then send me it. I weren't too sure I was going to have a meeting with them. And then when all this come out, like I said, I was always like, you know, they said right at the start, and I asked them, could I say what I want? And they said, yeah. And then I started thinking, I was like, right, well, what about if I said this? And they were like, you can't say that, or you can't word it like that. Can you word it differently and stuff like this? So nicely done, mate. Other part of you should have your yeah. Thank you, Pete. But yeah, it's interesting because I found out all of this. You can't now. They'll turn around and go, oh, yeah, you can say what you want. Now, if I never turn around and I went, oh, okay, and if I never turn around and went, could I say this? Could I say that? Because I always like to get into things. It's also part of my job as well. So it's like, well, you say this, but what would lead to this? Could I do this, that, or the other to make, you know what I mean? So you have to sort of break down things, and that's what I did on that conversation. I sort of said, well, okay then. Well, in theory, could I say this? Could I say that? And they were like, no, and you couldn't word it like that. And they said at the end of the day, the only reason they're giving me this is to get the numbers up. So they said, when you get a part work, you've just got to promote the hell out of it. Post it all the time on your social media accounts, all of them. Constantly talk about it. Get more people to sign up. That's all they want. And they said, when you're building this, you want to tell people, you know, what it came across as, they want you to tell people that it's brilliant. It's the best thing going. You should be doing it. Why aren't you doing this? You should get over and use my link and all this sort of stuff. And I just thought, I've just become a pup, like Baz said, you become a puppet at the end of the day. You sort of just go, okay, you become a yes man, like I said. You know, you just walk along going, you know what I mean? When you come to my YouTube channel, what you get is what you see. It's not fake. It's not You know what I mean? That's what it came across as. Whether or not that's with everyone, but that's what came up with me. And it just seemed like I had to word things properly. So I was like, you know, if a delivery didn't turn up, I go, I haven't had a delivery in 3 weeks. I think it's ridiculous. You couldn't say that. You just say, oh, I didn't have a delivery. It's okay. It will turn up eventually. Yeah. And, you know, I couldn't say, well, you don't get a lot in that issue. I think with the money you're paying is nah. I couldn't say that either. I'd just say, oh, it's a bit of a light week, the month, this one. You're changing stuff. You're working to them, and that's not genuine. That's not a real review in my eyes. A real review is telling you the ins and outs, the ups and downs, and the crap. And they didn't want that. So, which means I can still blag about information. Because, like my wife said, she thought that they may come to me because I'm giving you information about, you know, about builds that are coming out in France. But maybe they don't want you knowing about them because they don't know whether they're coming out over here or vice versa. I don't know. But, yeah, interesting. Hard sell. Yeah, effectively. That they want you. The more people that sign up using your thing, the bigger the tick gets for you. And the more likely they are to then give you more, basically, and do more stuff for you. So when you come to my channel, you get it as it is. If I think something's brilliant and it's well, you'll get it. If I think something's well, but there's a bit rubbish bits in it, I will tell you that as well. I will not butter this up. And yeah, I didn't want to get into that spot where I'm, like I said, treading on eggshells and sort of going, I shouldn't have said that, or it's not genuine. Yeah, it's another reason probably. And, you know, they would then do what Eaglemoss did and try contacting me and telling me to take down stuff. And I was like, no, why should I take it down? Oh, we didn't want, Eaglemoss said they didn't want people finding out about the enterprise yet. We weren't ready. I was like, well, I found the website. And they were like, yeah, but we want you to take it down. I went, nah, ain't nothing. We want you to stop talking about it. Why? Because we're not ready to do it. It all got released too early, they said. And I said, well, that's on them, not me. I'm no contract. But obviously, if I was on a contract, I would have had to take that all down. So, spot on, Kev. Which build was it for? Kit. It was for Kit. It was for Fan Home. But the person I spoke to was from D'Agostini. So, yeah. That's why I love your channel. It's not bullshit. Yeah. Thank you, Roger. To be honest, all partworks are the same. So many issues with nothing little to do. Yeah, and I couldn't say that's not worth the money. One, because I won't be paying for it. I'd be giving it. So I couldn't complain about that. But, you know, like I said, one of the issues, I think, two of the issues, I think it's issue 45 and 46, is it? Or 46 and 47, is the watch, the remote control watch. You have to build it. Surely that should have come pre-built at the end. But I know, you know, the Terminator even came with a remote you had to build. So maybe it's their way of just extending the thing. But I couldn't say what. I was watching Wayne's F40 build so bad, lol. Well, you know, Wayne's quite, you know, he's good. But each their own. I don't know if he's any different or anybody or anyone who does. Maybe it was just me that they said that I couldn't say this thing. I would have thought that they were probably going to turn around and go, oh, by the way, you know, you can say what you want. And then I go off and then I say all these things and they go, oh, you can't say that. Or they've just stopped me sending stuff and say, oh, we pulled your contract because you said this and that and the other. So I'd be left with half a built car. So, and like I said, I never intended to build the kit and they came to me. So, yeah. I've just started kit and no BS. Yeah, I don't, like I said, it seemed like a good build. I've seen some other bits, but you wouldn't get in a genuine thing as well. And I couldn't swear or something like that in it as well, blasphemies and all that, because sometimes they used that material for promotional material themselves. So there was a chance that if the videos did very well, they would then take my videos and maybe use them on their website, use them in their forums, all that sort of stuff, which meant that I had to keep it It had to be PG. That's not me, but it might be for some people. You know, it's a way in. Why I said, would you have done it if it was the Enterprise build or something like that? I don't know. It's a difficult one, but then again, I would want to say what it says. You know, like the window misalignment. I probably wouldn't be able to say that or anything like that. I think actually Wayne got into massive trouble with Eaglemoss because he was under contract with him and he was doing stuff and he said bad stuff about the Enterprise D. And I know he got into a lot of trouble for that, which sort of goes to show you that maybe what I was told is the norm. So you can say what you want, but within reason, sort of thing. But there was that anyway. And that was Wednesday. So, yeah. And now we can get on to the other stuff. So France is plugging along with all these test builds, and they've just released the ET test build. You should know from me. It looks like what they're doing is that it looks like it's going to be sort of animatronics underneath over a rubber skin, the same which they're using with the Alien build. This is through DeAgostini. No, I'm not a massive ET fan, so it's a no from me. It's half scale, so or is it full scale? I can't remember now. I think it's half scale. So it's not big. I think it's about 60 centimeters, which is about as tall as the Iron Man and RoboCop that they do. And that's the ET. And the first issue is his finger that lights up, and half of his face and eye. And I believe the eyes move and they light up as well. But the outer skin is like a rubber. So, so there's that one. So they're still chugging along. So if I come up, if I see any more test builds, obviously I'll put them on my channel and on Facebook and stuff, and you can check them out there. Now it's Agora and Optimus Prime. So I found out it was going to be Optimus Prime a while ago, probably back in when was it? September, August? Probably about in August time. First week of August, I think it was. I found out that they were going to do Optimus Prime. All I knew, and all anybody actually knew, was that it was Optimus Prime. So I was under the assumption that it was the movie Optimus Prime that DeAgostini are doing. We were all wrong. It's G1 Optimus Prime from the cartoon. I think it's actually from the movie, the one where he dies and stuff, because it has the Matrix of Leadership with him, and that's quite prominent in the original film. It's now I'm a massive wrestling fan. All you've got to know about me is I love sci-fi and I love wrestling, right? And the big things for me is Marvel, Star Wars, Star Trek, and Transformers. So much so, is it that one yet? That one. So that's Transformer language there. And that is my Transformer tattoo there. So I'm such a big fan that I've got Transformers language on me and tattoos. I've also, if you check out my channel, you'll know that I've collected loads of and unboxed loads of Transformer figures. And even I don't want this. Why? Because I'm a big Transformer fan, but I just feel that the movie bay or Transformer bay, which is what they're called, the Michael Bay film Transformers, is a better fit for a part work than the G1. You got to think it's a very basic design, where the Bayformer Optimus Prime from the movies is a much more complex machine, if you know what I mean. It looks better. So that's the one I was holding out for. I was very surprised by it. I've looked through it all. It's going to be filled with lights and sounds, just like I thought as well. If this had come out as a part work in France, it would be cheaper for you to pick this up in France. I think it's $64.99 a box for 24 months. And they do a 12-month as well. but 24 months, 2 years. So it's like a length of a normal build, but it's $64.99. So if I bought, it's 4 stages as well. You get your box, and it's 4 stages. If I bought 4 stages from France, the Agostini ones, which are $10.99, even with that would come to 45 quid, 45 euros. Remember, 45 euros. And then it would be something like 10, 15, 20 euros to send it. So that's £60, but that's in euros. By the time I've paid, it's down to the 40 mark, maybe even a little bit less than that, a little bit more than that, maybe around the 50, 45 pound mark. That's the parts, and then shipped to me. You know, if it was the movie one, I still wouldn't have signed up to it because it would still be cheaper to get it from France. It's massively expensive. I already have the FreeZero. So if you go on Google, type in FreeZero. Don't just put free and a zero. Write it. So TH. You know, yeah, FreeZero like that. Transformers. Now I own some of them. They're about. I've showcased them on the show before. I've had them on the live stream. I've done reviews on them as well. They're about 30 centimeters tall, 32 centimeters tall. I've got Bumblebee and Optimus Prime. They're about £400 each. They were, and they are highly detailed, movable as well. You can put them in any pose whatsoever. They come with loads of accessories, and I'm quite happy with them. So there's that. I've got that options. There's loads of options. The problem with Transformers is there's a lot of companies out there that do them. It's not just Hasbro. So there's a lot of Japanese and Chinese toy makers that make Optimus Prime, and they make some really good ones. It's just not for me. I think a lot of the stuff, if you look at it, a lot of stuff sort of steers away now from G1, and it's going more to the movie style. So the Bumblebee movie and the films previously. Also, like I said, looking at it, it's got lights and sounds, but it also looks like its chest area. If you read up, it says there's going to be sort of car parts that you won't be able to see. What's the point of that? So sort of like the engine and the radiator and stuff like that. You'll build them and then put them in his chest in a box you'll never see again. I don't get that. I remember the X-Wing when it was built. I did watch World of Wayne, and I watched other people, Mark as well, and that build the X-Wing. And the engine detail. So you build the engines quite detailed there with pipes and everything. And then you put it inside the engine, obviously, and then you put a cover over it and drill that cover in, never to be seen again, the light of day. And I think the Enterprise is going to be exactly the same. Not the Enterprise, sorry. Optimus Prime G1 is going to be exactly the same as this. I think there's a lot of it you're not going to see, especially in that chest area. You can still get a lot of really detailed G1 Transformers where you, as a toy version or even a big statue version that you pull out and it comes out, is Matrix of Leadership, and you can take it in and out and you can put it back again. There is some bits on this, like the lights and the mouth moving, the mouth guard moving, and the voices and all that sort of stuff. They're quite good. I'm not going to lie about that. That seems like a good thing, but does it warrant the price tag? And I don't really think it does. And especially now we're living at the moment, prices still haven't gone up. They go up the 1st of October, so we don't really know exactly what inflation and and all that sort of stuff is also going up. So we don't know where our finances are going to be in January. Secondly, as well, there's probably going to be a load of builds come out between sort of now and January. So, you don't want to get too tied in, especially me. I don't want to get too tied in. I can't do anything anyway with stuff until stuff starts finishing. Like I said, the Alien finishes in April, and then it's September for for RoboCop. So, you know, maybe around then I could see about doing another one. I want to do Optimus Prime. I will do it when it comes out in France. I'll have to pace that, I think. But the good thing about in France is that I can do it at my time and my own time. I don't have to rush. I don't have to worry about stuff or anything. So there's that as well. But it's a no from me. I've been speaking to a lot of my Transformer friends and people that are in it, and they've also said, you know, if you're trying to market this at Transformer fans, at diehard Transformer fans, it's not going to work. It's just a very expensive statue, which they already do quite a lot of already. Someone did point out, actually, it looked like the statue, the G1 statue that Sideshow did not too long ago, and that was about 1,200 quid. So I haven't looked into that, but someone said it felt like that. Plus, this one also had the lights and sounds and stuff like that. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with it. We are in no doubt. When I was talking to my friends and that, we had no doubt that it's going to sell. Right? That's the first thing you have to say. Is it's definitely going to sell, but I'm not too sure in huge numbers. I'm not too sure, but coming from a Transformer fan like me, who can probably name near enough 90 Transformers from the original series, there's a lot of people out there probably couldn't. I can, because I'm a nerd. A geek, a nerd, whatever. I'm that sort of person. I mean, I can tell you pointless information about Transformers and Star Trek and things like that, but that just shows you my geeky side, really. And a lot of I remember watching the series as well when I was a kid, and I've watched it over and over and over again, so I can tell you what episodes and what and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a no from me, I'm afraid. Not just because it's G1. Like I said, I think they would have done better if it was the movie Optimus Prime over the G1 Optimus Prime. That's just me, but I think it will sell. Just not massive numbers, I don't think. Optimus Prime is a big, expensive toy. Yeah, it's not. It's weird because it's got a lot of functions. Like, you know, I've seen these functions before with a lot of part works though, where they go, oh, you can do this and you can do that, and it does this, and then you don't use them ever. You know, it's the same with the Terminator here. I keep pointing up to him because he's up there. The Terminator. It has the eyes that move and the mouth that moves, but I haven't really touched either of them since I built it. So, yeah, there's a lot of functions that they put on these part works that you never use. Things like, you know, things like the lights and sounds of the cars and stuff like that, and the DeLorean and stuff. They're pushing all the buttons and turning them all off. It's a good idea when someone comes up with a mod and you can push the buttons. But a lot of them do stay off. I mean, my Terminator's off at the moment, but I do actually put that on quite a bit. I can't remember the last time I had or charged my R2-D2 since I finished building it. So you have to. I think you have to weigh up those things. Expensive toy, yeah. I've also seen a lot of people saying it doesn't transform. You know, if you want a transformer like that, you buy a Hasbro version. If you want a big statue, you go to FreeZero. That's the best company to go to, and they do some marvelous stuff. I still want Megatron in the big statue premium scale. That's what I'd like. I've got Optimus. I've got Bumblebee. I would like Megatron as well, but I think he's about 400. I can't really justify it at the minute. So if it's transformed, then it would be a yes from me. Yeah, I don't think they could. You say things like this, oh, it doesn't transform. You go, well, they couldn't get it to because of it's being complicated. Check out some of the unlicensed transformers that they do in China and Japan and stuff like that. They get them to transform. So FreeZero. So Hasbro are the only ones that can manufacture transforming robots. It's in their contract, right? No other place or company can sell a transformer, really, like a proper transformer. So if you wanted to do Optimus Prime, for instance, Hasbro are the only company that can do it that transforms. If you wanted to do Optimus Prime, you have to do it as a statue. That's been the case for years. So what they've done if they've done third-party ones in China, you know what it's like. You know what I'm going to say. So they build Optimus Prime in China, and then they call it something else. So they call it Driving Man. They really have. There is one called Driving Man. Or they put a code on it. So MMS01 is one of them. They've called one Convoy as well to try and do it. But these big statues, which they think, you can't get them transformed because they're big, they can transform. This is why 3.0, them ones are statues and don't transform, because they're properly licensed from Hasbro. And because of that fact, it means they can't transform. Only Hasbro themselves can do the transforming robots. So what's happened there, Chris, is they've gone to Hasbro. They said, we'd love to do Optimus Prime. They go, yep, you can do it, but it can't transform because we're the only ones that can do that. And so that's why it's a statue. I'm sure if Hasbro went, you can have it to transform, but we have to sell it, that would be different. So yeah. How about the Power Rangers that Chris Falcon is building? Looks amazing. It's from France. So yeah, the Megazord, that might come out. We'll have to see about it. We just have to see. Lego one even transformed. Yep, that's a special. What we're understanding is that was a special agreement that Lego and Hasbro have. So yeah. Need to go. Take it easy, Care. Take it easy, Roger. Thank you for coming. Great as always to have you here. So that's what's been happening this week. But yes, it does look really good, the Optimus Prime, but it's a no from me. Like I said, I feel that if it was the Bayformer Optimus Prime from the film, it might have done a little bit better. More people might have signed up to it, but it's rather expensive, even for Agora. And they haven't tested this, and that's a problem, because when I asked Hachette, this goes back to the thing, I should have mentioned this as well, why they do tests, and we sort of found that out with Eaglemoss. But the reason they do tests is so they can take that data and determine if it will sell or not. There's no they said there's no point in putting out something if they don't know if it will sell. Part works cost a lot of money. We're talking hundreds of thousands of pounds. It's not cheap. Let's put it that way. To get a license and to build it and all that, we're in the hundreds of thousands of pounds here. And to not test it and to not bring it out in newsagents is effectively, yeah, it could be bad. It came though from Eaglemoss. It was definitely called up. When they stopped doing the test runs and when they stopped in newsagents, massively hurt their sales. And it's also Hachette said it's also you're missing out on a huge chunk of profit and customers by not releasing it in the newsagents, or even running TV ads as well. So Hachette, I do believe, are the only ones that run the TV ads. They said obviously everything's more digital, but imagine the extra money that they get from bringing it in the newsagents and from doing a TV ad from companies that don't. And they said they've done this practice for years. It's always worked. Why would they change it? It's a bit like saying, why fix something if it ain't broke? And I can disagree. And I thought, yeah, brilliant. There's no need to change. The problem with Eaglemoss was they wanted change very quickly, and they went about it the wrong way. And that was one of the reasons why it was pulled up on their records, and that one of the reasons was they lost a lot of money pulling it from newsagents, and gambling on builds that if they will sell or not. So they had what they did is they put the test option on their website, didn't they? Where they put the website up, and then it was register your interest. So that was their test part of it. Instead of physically doing a test in the newsagents and stuff like that, they also pulled the ads from TV. Once again, how many people you draw in by running a TV ad is mega. And and all the people, you've got to think the people who even use the internet and stuff like that probably still don't buy or get the subscription like myself from them or their website. What they do is they get it from the newsagents, and that's potential sales that companies are losing if they don't do that. So there's that, and you got FanHome, DeAgostini, and Agora that do that. I'm just wondering if it would be more money for them if they run a TV ad and they released it in the newsagents. They've done it with the Dodge Charger, and I'm wondering if that's worked better for them or not, because before the pandemic, their plan was to also release a lot of their other stuff in the newsagents as well. Like they do. The problem is why they don't do it here in the UK. I have no idea, but they do it in France, so I don't know what the problem is. And in France, they do it because they know it works, and they know they can hit every point all the time. Over here, when you're advertising just on the internet, that's okay, but not everyone sort of uses it precisely, if you know what I mean. So there's a lot of people on my YouTube channel who don't have Facebook, who only use Insta, who only use Twitter. So there's those places where they're missing out, maybe. It's really interesting. It's all interesting. But I just feel that it'd be nice to have them in the newsagents. That's all I'm saying. But I would have preferred the Michael Bay one. But it is what it is. It looks good. They've done sort of shots of the prototype, which we know is in plastic, and we know that colour's different on die cast. So it's going to be interesting what parts on it are going to be die cast and what parts are going to be plastic. That's going to be interesting. It also says it comes with a lot of ball joints, which is really good. I think a lot more models need to come with the ball joints because you get much more flexibility and posability with a ball joint over a connector joint as well. So there's that bonus to it. So yeah. Everything's going off here at once. Can you hear me all right? Because my phone's just played up. But can you hear me all right on there? Is it all right? Okay. I'm just checking everything. Because my phone's just gone. It just had a little bit of a meltdown. Anyway, look, I'm going to call it a night. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel and me and the decisions that I make for the channel. Look, thank you so much. I will keep doing what I do best and give it to you straight and bring you all the information as well. But thank you so much for supporting the channel. Take it easy. Over this week, I don't know what's coming out. I'm quite busy this week, so I probably might do a lot of gaming videos just to get videos out. I'm waiting for the new Star Trek figures to turn up, so that should be this week, so that'll be cool. Lots on the channel. But until then, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Until then, take it easy. We'll see you then. Take it easy. See you later.